behind the camera the whole time, Joe?
Just when
So what I used to do, some of you may know, I used to be a computer programmer. And I've been working for the same company for the past 15 years, but about 3 years ago we got acquired by another company, and so part of what we're doing the last 3 years is integrating all of our existing software with different types of software, different products. So we sell financial accounting products to government, and it sounds really boring. And nobody knows who we are, and we go to career fairs at ASU, at U of A, at ASU Polytech, at NAU, and none of the kids know what we do. They say, Tyler Technologies, what kind of technologies do you do? And we say, we do software, and they say,
you don't build robots?
we don't. And they say, yeah, technology seems like something that, you know, you should have medical or chemical engineers or something like that. So. But because we're not a company that people know what we do, like Apple or Google or Microsoft or Dell, it's a lot harder. So mostly what I've been doing the last couple of years and what I'm transitioning into doing is more what I would call a servant manager. So I used to have 17 people that reported directly to me. And last year, I promoted 3 of the people who used to report to me to the same level that I'm at. So now they have people that report directly to them. And I only actually have one person who directly reports to me. And part of what I'm doing with that is freeing up my time from having to, if we manage 17 people in their schedules, it's a lot of work. So it's giving me more time to do programming and a lot more time to figure out how to integrate our existing software product packages with the other software that we have in the company, and how to reuse a lot of existing things. So that's largely what I've been doing the last year. And then I get to work with a lot of young people, a lot of people in their 20s, and I also work with a lot of people that are in their 40s and 50s. And bridging that gap between people that are in their 20s and people that are in their 40s and 50s, you might not know this, but things that people want in their 20s are not the same things that people want in their 40s and 50s. And the types of ways people expect to be treated at work or expect people to react at work, dress code, work schedule, how people interact with other people, how they talk to each other, what they do, completely different with the millennial generation versus the generation, either Generation X or Generation Y, you know, the prior two generations. So dealing with a lot of that. And I would say that's probably the thing that takes the most amount of time. The biggest challenge is to build a corporate culture within our office that's one that we want that'll attract new people, young people. What?
I'm ready to fill in the gaps.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So since you're not one of these Apple and Microsoft, can you still offer people an incentive type package and salaries that would come?
So
or does that hinder you?
So the interesting thing is, I went from a company that was 65 people, where I worked directly for the guy that owned the company, owned 55% of the company. Now I work for a company that has a market share value of $3.6 billion. We have annual revenues that are in excess of $175 million just in our division. So that's how much revenue we take in. And we'll do sales on our product line this year of like $27 million, and our cost to make that $27 million is about $12 million. So we do about $15 million return direct to the bottom line on that $27 million. So we have like an operating margin of like 45% or some ridiculous number like that. So the interesting thing about it is we have tons of money. Money is not our problem. Our biggest problem is finding young people who want to work in a career that and people that want to work for a company that they don't know what it is, so they don't know what the company does. because we sell to school districts and municipalities and utility companies and cities and towns and courts and police departments and sheriff's departments and a lot of things like that. Nobody knows what we do unless they're in those particular industries or have family that are in those industries.
But you're competitive as far as salary?
So we're extremely competitive as far as things like salary. But we don't lose people on salary. We lose people primarily on, they think Google is a more stable company, or they think Microsoft or Apple are.
Okay.
And then in the reality, like in our division, we have hired, when we started there, when they acquired us, we had 370 people. We have 680 people in our division right now. So in 3 years, we've grown 300 people. We haven't laid anybody off. The company hasn't laid anybody off in like 15 years. And our sales have gone up like 20% each year. So the interesting thing about the government is they tend to buy from the one that has the least amount of risk, and they also tend to stay with companies that deliver on what they do. So when we get, like we have Yuma, like a couple of the school districts that are here, I joked with Stella and Mouse and I said they hate us, but they're still our customers because they don't want to go with anybody else because they like staying with it, even though they complain all the time.
Like to complain.
Yeah, they like to
It's their
complain.
favorite thing,
So-
number one hobby.
Okay, interesting.
Anyway, so my job is transitioning more from being I'd say a manager that sits in an office and tells people what to do, to be more of an empowerment person. So I try to get people to make decisions, and then I try to get people to understand that they can make mistakes, and if they make mistakes that they'll learn. As long as they learn from those mistakes, those are fine.
Good.
So Madison, did you want to come to talk about the same company?